Hi, my name is Dick Lee, and I'm an environmental hygienist. Been doing this for about 15 years, and I have taught it at the college level at a couple of different universities. I'm also a licensed home inspector here in Oklahoma. I first became acquainted with Ray and the air reactor system when I was called out to do some work for the absentee Shawnee Indian tribe. They had a problem in one of their tribal buildings, and the machine had been running in the building for I guess a couple of weeks, and they had me come in and do some follow-up air samples. When I reviewed the original air sample results and compared them to the air samples that I took after the machine had been running, one of the first things I noticed was the reduction overall of all the different mold species, but particularly the effect that it had on the high level of Stachybotrys mold that was found in the original samples. It had been completely eradicated. I found that very interesting. I'm normally the type of an environmentalist that when I write directions or protocol for remediation, I would refer to myself as a remove and replace kind of guy. I normally call for all the damaged drywall and building materials to be physically removed, cleaned, the remainder of the building cleaned, and then the material put back. In my years of doing this, I've seen 30 different quick fixes come and go. And when Ray told me about his device, I have to say that, just like I said to him, I was very skeptical of it. I told him that in my experience, I haven't had good results with those kind of things, the chemical treatment and all the other things that I've seen come and go. But I did agree to go do the sampling and do some more sampling for him, through him, with the absentee Shawnee tribe. Not sure how you would say it, but I guess you could call me a believer now. In the time that I've been involved with this system, I've seen it completely eradicate Stachybotrys in at least a half a dozen places. I've seen the same results when I did formaldehyde testing at about a half a dozen FEMA trailers that had been provided to members of the absentee Shawnee tribe. But it had removed the pet dander, because these folks have a dog. It had removed the pet dander, the dead skin cells, and the dust and other fibers that were found on the original and the first follow-up from 50 to 25%. That in and of itself would actually help the average person that has allergies. Even if it's not mold, you get rid of the rest of the debris in the air, makes it easier to breathe. I think that if you're having any kind of respiratory issues or a sinus problem, or you're just getting headaches that you can't get rid of, a lot of that could probably be tied back to mold. We had a home that was flooded, again, Indian tribe members, up by Midwest City, and I went in and did the original air samples and assessed the home. The remove and replace part of me, when I wrote my protocol for remediation, said that they needed to remove the walls, the drywall, and the paneling up to probably about 4 feet, and all the insulation, and clean the wall studs and do a normal process for remediation. That's what I wrote in my protocol. They were interested in using Ray's device, so they put it in there. I went back and did a follow-up sample, and then I did one at 3 months, and that was the one that really surprised me. They had gone from the original, they were in the neighborhood of like 22,000 total mold spore and hypofragment count. And when I did the follow-up at 3 months, they were, I believe, right at less than 800 total count. And the Aspergillus penicillium, which I believe was in the 15,000 range, came back with 0 spores on the follow-up air sample from their living room. I've never seen anything like that. The other thing I'd like to mention about the house that was flooded is that you're looking at about a 1,600 square foot ranch style home. So it's very linear. The system was set up in the living room all the way at one end of the house. And when I went into the home the first time, all the way down the hallway and around the corner into the master bedroom, and actually in several closets, the mold had gotten to the stage where you had visible colony flowering units, and the walls were fuzzy in the closets from the colony flowering units. When I went back for the 3-month checkup, those colony flowering units had been completely eradicated. There was nothing visible on the walls, and I'm talking about all the way at the other end of the house. So the really neat thing about this system is you don't have to have one of these in every room. It did its job all the way at the far end of the house, and I quite frankly have never seen anything like it.